Hi people. It's finally time to spill some tea about Yellowstone Season 4. The season premiered on Paramount Network on Sunday night and already attracted millions of viewers. Well, we're not surprised to see this immediate success of the season, as the previous one ended on a horrible note, leaving the main characters on the edge of life and death. Even though we have done our best to come up with various theories on what can happen next and what are our expectations from the series, the premiering episode of Season 4, titled Half the Money, managed to surprise us all as none of our expectations were true. The episode tackled two main themes. The first one of these themes was post-trauma syndrome. Often, we see the post-trauma syndrome being held on TV screens or movies through individual characters and their unique experiences. Since the topic is a difficult one to handle, taking the individual as the central point eases the process of facing the truth, as the audience can relate to a single person more easily. When it comes to the collective post-trauma syndrome, however, reflecting those collective emotions and memories to the big screen is pretty difficult, since the syndrome is in the air, impacting everybody, not a single soul. Nevertheless, Yellowstone chose to go after the difficult path by dedicating an entire episode to a collective depression that can be felt, but not expressed by the characters, except for John. Since John was under heavy medication and was sleeping for almost 2 months, he was clueless about what had happened actually. Naturally, he tries to figure out what he has missed by asking questions to everybody, particularly Beth and Casey. However, he never managed to receive a satisfying answer, as both Beth and Casey were suffering from post-trauma syndrome, struggling to speak on the incident even 2 months after it. This wall of syndrome was the one that John had to face. John has difficulty in empathizing with the issue at first, and refuses to be a part of it by rejecting the treatment and pretending as if nothing has happened. Still, soon after he also gives in. When he visits the ranch staff to express his thankfulness to them, John realizes that Beth and Casey were not the only ones that were under the impact of this syndrome. On the contrary, there is a collective problem and no one is immune to it, since they have to face the fact that they have gone through a horrible incident but struggle to acknowledge this. For instance, it takes 2 months for Beth to get the strength and courage to pay a visit to Jamie and hold him accountable. She mentions that the reason why she waited for so long was to be sure that John is surviving. John's survival gives her hope in the post-trauma atmosphere and enables her to act outside of the syndrome's impact. However, when she is under the impact, she cannot even talk about it openly, as the shock of the incident remains. The other theme was about the centuries-long clash between the Indians and the white colonizers in Montana. Once we figured out who is alive and what has happened just after the attacks, the show has taken a brief break from the modern era and went back to 1893, at a time when the Duttons were the newbie owners of the area while Indians were just facing the reality of losing their land. That scene presents a narrative that we aren't very used to when it comes to colonizer-Indians interactions. In the scene, we see that the white men lend a helping hand to the Indian tribe after ensuring that they will not pose a threat to their sovereignty over the land. The Indian tribe, on the other hand, seems to have acknowledged the reality of the situation and decided to reconcile rather than fight. Naturally, the two sides have a pretty healthy conversation without applying to any violence. When we come back to the modern times, we see the reflection of the events from 200 years ago on today's life in Montana. The most obvious ones of those reflections take place in a casino where a white man annoys the courier, who is a Native American, when playing blackjack. The white man says things like there is no point in Indians being not happy since they managed to get equal rights already, while the croupier reminds him that their lands still belong to the white men. After the annoying man confesses that he is the one who shot John Dutton out of nowhere, the managers of the casino intervene to solve the case. They eventually let Thomas Rainwater know on the issue, and it becomes even more obvious that the underlying struggle between the Indians and the white man still continues. Thomas says what happened to John hasn't been done since the Indians' lands were being forcibly taken away. We have to find who tries to take his land, because whoever it is, he will come after our lands afterward. This line makes it clear that ever since the 19th century, when a mutually respectful relationship got formed between the Duttons and the Indians, the two groups' fates follow a parallel path, despite being far from the same. There is a silent cooperation between the Indians and the Duttons, which enables this show to handle a difficult topic, such as colonization, in a gentle and yet also clear way. This unique premise of the show enables it to stand out from the others in the genre, as it becomes much more than a series that is following an action-packed ranch life. What do you think of Half the Money? Do you agree with our opinions? What should we expect from the series afterward in your opinion? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.